Good morning, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving, happy Turkey Day, happy week of gratitude, whatever this day and this week mean to you. I am so glad. Good morning, Renee. I'm so glad that you're here with us today. Shanti has assumed her position for a little bit with us. And as you settle in, I put way up in the chat, but we've been chatting a bit to maybe grab, if you've got 2 yoga blocks, grab them, or 2 similarly sized pillows or cushions. You're going to want those at the end of practice. If you don't have anything, you could also grab a couple blankets. Oh, bye. She's like, I made my appearance. Now I'm going to go eat things. um, it could also be 2 similarly sized blankets. We're primarily going to use them for the end of practice. But if you have some squishy things, you might sit on them because we are going to get started seated this morning. Oh, good morning, Brittany. I'm so glad you're here with us. Melanie, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you. And Amy, happy Thanksgiving. I'm glad that you're joining us from New Mexico and Slovenia, Brittany. I just want to start today's practice by saying how grateful I am to all of you for this year and just for practicing online with us every Saturday, on Mondays, sometimes Thursday mornings. It's been I'm sure for so many of us, right, just a really odd year, especially those of us with a business, or I think of this more like a community to kind of cultivate and to pull together. It's been an interesting year just to navigate like how we continue to do that and support each other and be there for each other in a year where social distance is the name of the game, physical distance. And so thank you for moving online with us. Thank you for being here throughout the year. I know that it's meant a lot to me and our yoga and beer community of teachers. And I know it's meant a lot to the other students here that join us as well. Just to feel for this 1 hour as we come together and practice together, that even though we're in our own space, we're not alone. We're doing this together with other humans. So thank you all so much. You have my full gratitude. Um, And we're going to get started this morning in a comfortable seat. If at any point there's any technical difficulties with anything, please just throw that in the chat. I've got an eye on it here. And if you're using the playlist this morning, you can go ahead and push play on that. As you find your comfortable seat, we're just going to let your hands come to rest on your legs to start here. And let's blink the eyes to closed if that's comfortable. And take a full breath in through your nose. And let's open your mouth and let it go. Let's do that one more time. Big inhale, pull the air in. And open your mouth and let it go. And do that as many more times as you need to just ground into your breath in your practice this morning. When you feel ready to start to move that breath in and out through the nose, let that transition happen. And let's take a few moments here just to feel the busyness of your brain, your mind this morning. Feel just sort of all the thoughts, feel all the vibrancy that's kind of happening there up in that very tip-top part of ourselves. The center of thinking, of planning, of analysis, of judgment. Honestly, most of what happens up here is past and future. And over our periods of breath here, I want you just to make a shift from that place of judgment and analysis down into your heart. Instead of thinking this morning, I want you to feel. You might even take one of your hands and place it there on top of your heart. The center of compassion, of emotion. And instead of a gratitude, apparently we're going to have a tear practice today. I'm a mess. Sorry, everyone. Instead of a practice necessarily of gratitude and just kind of cramming in all of these things we're grateful for today. Kind of like we're telling ourselves that we're grateful for this this moment in time that we're living. I want you to have and encourage this space within your heart of gratefulness. Not gratefulness, but gratefulness. The space within your heart that can hold your feelings of maybe loneliness and also your feeling of connection, your feelings of frustration, and your feelings of great peace. Your feelings of challenge and maybe anger or sadness, but also your feelings of great joy. The highs and the lows that make up this light life that hopefully we are truly grateful for. Holding these in our heart and our space that doesn't need to judge between good and bad, right or wrong. These feelings don't need to be any particular feelings to exist in our place, in our space of gratefulness. There's just what is right here today. And because the highs would not be highs without the lows, we can feel gratitude for both. Let's take one more really full breath in here. One more full breath out. And then let's bring that second hand up to your heart, or both hands if you resisted the placement of hands on heart. And just let your heart lift up into your hands. Let your shoulders move back and down just a bit. And let's take your hands, we're going to reach them wide and all the way up to the sky. You can keep your eyes closed if you'd like, or you can start to blink them open. Let's bring those palms together and then down into your heart. Let's do that one more time. Big inhale, reach wide, and all the way up. Palms join, and exhale, hands come down into your heart as your heart lifts towards your thumbs. Here we go, one last time there. Biggest reach yet. And hands come down and in. And as you find the hands down into your heart, let's tip back just enough that you can recross those legs, other leg in front. We're going to take your hands up and out to the ceiling. And then just like your favorite wine bottle opener, you're going to push your hands out to the side, right hand to left knee, left hand behind you. It's going to be your exhale. The inhale, you're going to come back to center. And then it's going to change a little bit. As you exhale, we're going to take your left hand to the ground beside you, right arm up and over. So we're going to start to get into the side body a bit this morning. Inhale back to center. Exhale, we'll twist toward the right. So left hand to right knee. This is Musketeer if you've not met him before. Inhale back on up. Exhale, side bend toward the right. Right hand comes down, left hand up and over. So we're going to start to flow here a little bit just to start to sync up body and breath. We'll twist toward the left. Inhaling back to center. And just feel free, exhaling side bend to the left, to make it your own, to speed it up, to slow it down at any point that you need to. Twisting toward the right. And back up. Side bend toward the right. And back up. Let's do that one more time. So we'll twist toward the left. And back up. Side bend toward the left. And back up. Final twist toward the right. Inhale to center. Side bend toward the right. And back up. And then this time, let's bend your two elbows out to the side. Let your heart lift. And just take those arms out into a goalpost shape. Air high fives to all of your friends, near and far. And just exist here for a moment. Let those elbows melt down and back. Feel the tension in your shoulders and your neck start to soften. And then hands back up to the sky and hands back down into your heart. Let's come over into hands and knees from here. If you sat on your squishy object, go ahead and just put those aside till the end of practice. And if you joined us a little bit after we got started, have 2 items for the end of your practice. You'll be glad you did. 2 similar items: pillows, blocks, blankets. All right, from your table pose, let's keep that movement going. Inhale, belly drops, cow pose. And exhale, spine rounds for cat. With your breath there, cow pose, udder down, and spine rounds like a cat. As we move through today's practice, just a reminder to those of you that join us regularly, an invitation for those of you that are newer to this practice to really make this the practice you need this morning. There's no judgment or pressure here, especially when you're practicing at home. A couple more rounds of cat cow. So as you need to skip poses, as you need to change it up, as you need to add things, just make this a practice that feels really good in your body today. Let's take one more round into cat. And then we're going to change the pattern just a little bit. So as you inhale into cow, that'll be just like it was. But this time as you come into cat, we're going to let your hips press all the way back towards your heels. The hips can hover over the heels. And then inhale, we're going to come back up into table, drop the belly, lift the heart, cow. Back and forth there a few times, all the way back into your child's pose shape. Keep those hands rooted. So there's a great sense of length up the arms. Inhale into that cow shape. How about 2 more like that? All the way back towards that child's pose. Also just kind of planting the seed of child's pose. The shape is here for you anytime you need it this morning. And one more time, cow. All the way back into cat or child's. We're going to come on up into table. That nice long flat spine here. Make sure you're happy with where your hands are. I'm going to give myself a little extra space for down dog this morning. So I'm going to turn my fingers out just a bit, my index fingers to maybe like 1 and 11. I'm going to take my hands about as wide as my mat, and I'm going to tuck my toes under. Let's take hips up and back, downward facing dog. Just letting your hips pedal a bit or wag, creating space. Creating the space that allows you to shift from that place of analysis and judgment this morning into a space where you can just feel and sense and hold space for that great fullness that is life. When you're ready, let's take your right leg any amount up and back. And then we're going to step your right foot between your hands. And we're just going to pop up onto your fingertips here. Let's take a little bend in that back knee. And then inhale, straighten the back leg. We're going to do that 2 more times. So we'll bend and straighten. And then 1 more time, bend and straighten. Let's keep that back leg nice and strong. We're going to keep your left hand down. Take your right hand up to the sky. And as you take that hand up, we're just going to start to reach your right hand back toward the back of your mat, then down toward the ground outside your right foot. Let's reach that arm forward and then up. So these are big circles here, and we're going to do 2 more of them. Back, down, forward, and up. Just sort of moving that whole line that comes out of the heart, the shoulder, the chest, the arm, the hand. We'll do that 1 more time. And then this time, as the hand comes down alongside that right foot, just let it come back down to the floor. Plant those hands flat and let's step back, downward facing dog. From your down dog, you are invited and welcome to stay here for a few breaths. Or inhale, come into your plank. Let those knees come on down to the ground. Heart pulls and shifts forward. Let's bend your elbows straight back, lowering all the way down to the belly. We'll untuck your toes, and let's just take a little lift of the heart and shoulder and head away from the ground. Baby cobra, just enough lift that hands could lift and air high five your friends and family again. And then back to the floor. Press into hands and knees. Let's come on up, table. And back you go, downward facing dog. As you find this down dog, let's inhale, roll to the tippy toes, let your heels lift towards the sky. And then exhale, let your heels drop toward the mat. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. 1 more time, lift. And lower. So that right heel descends toward the ground. Let's start to take your left leg up toward the sky. Again, it doesn't have to be super high, just the right amount for you today. And then we'll take that left foot, step it forward between your hands. We're going to pop once again onto your fingertips. Let that back knee bend down toward the floor. And then inhale, straighten. 2 more times. Bend. And straighten. 1 more time. Bend. And straighten. Keeping that right hand down, we'll pull that left hand up toward the ceiling. And then we'll start those circles with this arm. Left hand reaches back, down, forward, and up. 2 more there. Back, down, forward, up. 1 more. Just feel how that arm, the shoulder, the chest all originates from the heart. The next time that hand comes down, we'll let it step to the floor, place on the ground. Right hand flattens. Let's step back to downward facing dog. Doesn't need to be graceful, just make it work for you. You're here, right here. If this is the place to be this morning, if you're happy here, this feels good. Don't overthink it, don't judge it. If you want movement, come forward to plank. Knees up or down this round. Elbows point straight back. Let's lower. Into your back bend. You can start to put some weight into the hands if you would like and come up a little higher into cobra. You can also keep it low. Let's go back to the belly. Pressing up through table or plank, your choice. And back you go, downward facing dog. Just like we did last time, let's stay here for about 3 more breaths. As you inhale, let those heels lift. As you exhale, let the heels drop. 2 more times at your own pacing here. Just let your head hang heavily between your arms. And let's start to stroll your feet forward toward your hands. Once you're there, let's slide your fingertips up the shins, halfway lift, just nice and easy. You might have a soft bend to the knees this morning. And then exhale, let's fold. Let that head completely release. Let the shoulders completely release. You might even just let those arms drape toward the ground. And let's put a little bit bigger bend into your knees. Let everything drape as you roll up, super slow, inch by inch, by inch by inch, all the way up to standing. At the top there, let's just let your hands settle by your body. Let's turn palms forward, thumbs out. Let's take a little bend to your knees. You kind of feel the energy, the weight come down into your legs, and then root down into those heels, straighten your legs nice and slow. And then let's swing your 2 hands up to the sky. We're going to grab your right wrist with your left hand and pull up and over toward the left. And I'll turn to face you so you can see it. Keep that weight in the right foot. It's going to want to shift to the left. And then let's come back up to center. Grab left wrist with right hand. Pull up and over toward the right. Let's come back to center. We're gonna do each side one more time because the first time's kind of like introducing the idea, and the second time your body maybe adapts to it and accepts it. So let's go back over toward the left. Back up to center, grab left wrist, pull over toward the right. Feeling, sensing the shapes instead of judging and analyzing. Let's come on back to center, press those palms together. Let your hands come on down into your heart. Let's take a big full inhale here. Just feel your feet. Big full exhale. And let's start to move a little bit more. Inhale, hands go up toward the sky. And exhale, let's fold. Fingers slide up your shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we'll fold. Root into your feet. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Just a little half sun salutation to get us started. And exhale, hands down into your heart. We'll start that same way, but then we'll add on. Inhale, hands go skyward. Exhale, we'll fold. Halfway lift as you breathe in. Exhale, fold, and we'll step your left leg back. So feet are going to be about as wide side to side as your hips, back knee, back heel off the ground if that's comfortable. Let's come on up into what's called crescent lunge. Shoulders over hips, hands to the sky. And then we're going to take your hands, reach them down toward the floor beside you. We're going to tip your torso forward. And you're kind of in control here of how much lean you give there. The deeper you lean, the more intense it's probably going to be for you. We're going to turn your palms out away from you, and we're going to swim those arms out to the side and forward. When the palms come together, we'll turn them out again and swim them back. You're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach out and forward. Turn the palms out, press those hands out and back. One more time, let's add just a little imaginary resistance to that. Like there's something resisting your hands as you push them forward. Something resisting your hands as you push them back. Let's take those 2 hands forward and up. Let your shoulders come back up over your hips. And let's bend your elbows out to the side, back into that goalpost shape. Inhale, hands go back up, and we'll let your hands come forward and down. Back you go, downward facing dog. Just like the last couple times we've been here, you're going to always have the choice to stay. You've got that child's pose shape we visited early on to go to for a few breaths if you want, or inhale, plank. Knees up or down will lower, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend of your choosing. You can keep it low, you can bring it up high. Back to the belly. And back you go, downward facing dog. As you find that downward facing dog, let's take your left leg, lift it up toward the ceiling, and then step that left foot forward between your hands. All right, we'll come up to that crescent lunge once again. Let those hands come on down by your sides, reaching for the floor. Feel your shoulders drop down and melt back. Let's tip your torso forward over that front leg. We're going to turn your palms outward, swim them forward. Turn the palms out again and swim them back. 2 more like that. You can add as much imaginary resistance into that movement as you would like. One more time. We'll take your shoulders over your hips, hands forward and up, and then bend your elbows out to the sides. Heart lifts, baby gaze goes slightly up. Inhale, hands up, forward and down. We'll step forward to the top of the mat this time. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Rise up, reach up. And exhale, hands to heart. Again, similar but different. Inhale, hands reach up. And exhale, let's fold. Halfway lift as you breathe in. Exhale, we'll fold. This time we'll step your right leg back. We're going to come up into that crescent lunge. As you come on up, let's root into that left big toe, straighten that front leg. Let your two legs get very powerful, very strong. And then let's bend your front knee, bend your elbows into that goalpost shape. But this time we're going to bring your arms forward in that bent elbow shape. Right elbow is going to drop below your left for either a hug or your eagle arm. So that right elbow under left is the key. And we're just going to melt those elbows up in the amount toward the ceiling. Maybe look up, let that upper back lift into the chest. And then exhale, hands unravel, release down around your front foot, and back you go. Invitation to stay. Or inhale, plank, chaturanga, back bend of your choosing, back to the belly, press up through table or plank, and downward facing dog. When you're ready, we'll lift right foot to the sky. Right foot forward between your hands. We'll come up into that lunge again. Root into your right big toe, straighten the front leg. Feel that sort of rooting into your feet, but that energetic lift all the way up through the body. And then we'll bend elbows, bend front knee. Start to bring your bent arms forward. Left arm's going to drop under right for a hug or some version of eagle wrap. I personally just kind of like to fist my hands and press the elbows into each other. We're going to start to melt your elbows up toward the ceiling. Heart lifts, gaze goes up. And then we'll unravel arms, hands around foot, step forward, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Let's bend your knees, sneak your elbows up onto your thighs. It's like kind of chair pose, but not chair pose. It's a kind of chair pose. We're going to press those elbows down into your thighs and let your back get really long all the way out through the crown of the head. So I kind of want you to push down so that you feel the front of your core engaged just a bit. We're going to keep your right elbow where it's at. Begin to take your left hand up toward the sky. Your left leg can straighten any amount that you would like. Those of you that want more, right hand comes on down to the ground. Depending on your shoulders, your neck, how you're energetically and emotionally feeling today, you might look down, you might look sideways, you might look up. And then we'll rebend both legs, sneak both elbows back onto your thighs. Press those elbows into your legs. Let your spine round like cat. Let the head fall. Inhale, belly drops. Head and heart move forward. One more time, that cat shape. And then I want you just to find kind of that long, neutral spine. Neither cow, neither cat. Left elbow stays down. Right hand goes up toward the ceiling. Right leg straightens any amount. You can stay here or bring that left hand down to the floor. Wherever your gaze is, let it be intentional, let it feel good. And then we'll bring both elbows back to your knees, both knees bend. Inhale, drop the belly for cow shape here. From that cow shape, so you've got the belly on the thighs, we're just gonna slide your elbows off the front of the knees, let your body drape over the legs. Head completely releases, and from here, you can let those legs straighten any amount. And then let's find hands on floor. Right foot's gonna stay. Let's take your left leg, step it back. We'll come up to that crescent lunge once again. As you come up, we're gonna ground your back heel and open your shoulders toward the long edge of the mat for warrior two. So right knee, right toes are pointed straight forward. Waist up opens toward the side of your mat. And then let's take right elbow to right thigh, left hand up toward the ceiling. We're going to turn that left palm to face behind you, bend the elbow, and bring that hand into the small of the back. You can also kind of tuck it around your non-existent love handle. And then just use that. It's called a bind, a half bind. Use that to actually create space. Encourage a little movement of that left shoulder back. You might look up toward the ceiling here. Those of you that want more, you're definitely welcome to take right hand to ground, to even full bind if you want to. You could reach that right arm forward, all kinds of options. You've got 2 more breaths here. And we're just going to take that left hand, remove it from your bind, let it drape down your left thigh as you come on up into reverse warrior. So you're tipping back. Right hand is reaching toward the back of the mat. Side bend for that right side. So instead of a belly stretch, have this be an opening for that whole right side of the body. And then 2 hands down around your front foot. Let's come onto the ball of that back foot and step back into downward facing dog. Invitation to flow through vinyasa, plank chaturanga back bend. Option to stay here. Option to child's pose, to get a drink of coffee, to interpretive dance. It's your time and space. From your down dog, when you're ready, we're going to lift the heels, bend the knees, look forward, and with an exhale, you can walk, step, or hop. Top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Rise up, root down into those feet. We're going to grab your right wrist with your left hand, pull up and over toward the left. Exhaling there. Inhale, back to center. Other side. Exhaling into the side bend. Inhaling back up. Release the grab on the wrist. As you exhale, 2 elbows bend out into that goalpost shape. And inhale, back up. Exhale, hands down through center. Let's fold. We're going to keep your left foot where it's at. Take your right leg back. Come up into your crescent lunge. Ground your back heel. Open up, warrior two. When you feel like your legs are underneath you, your base, your foundation feels solid. Let's take left elbow to left thigh, right hand up toward the sky. We'll turn that right palm to face behind you. Bend your elbow, bring that hand into the small of your back. Again, make this hand. Use that half bind to gently encourage that shoulder open. And you might look up toward the ceiling. Just see how your neck feels. Those of you that added more on the first side, keep adding to your heart's content. But at some point, let your heart be content with being here, right here. Final full breath. We're just going to nonchalantly release that half bind so the right hand begins to drape down the right leg. Left hand goes up and back into that side bend. And then 2 hands down around your front foot, back heel lifts. Let's take it back. Downward facing dog. You know the drill. You stay, you skip, find stillness or take the movement. Whatever you do, stay with your breath. Try not to judge it, analyze it, just feel it, experience it. Be present with what you're doing. As you find your down dog or whatever you've put in place of down dog, big inhale through your nose. Full, complete release through your mouth. Let's take that right leg up to the sky and step your right foot forward between your hands. This time we're going to ground that back heel, but instead of having the body face the side of the mat, as you come up, you're going to face the front of the mat. Warrior one. Hands come on up to the sky. We're going to start to lean your torso forward over that front leg, turn your palms to face out, and let's swim them back. And as you swim them back, move your shoulders onto the back body, let your heart really move forward. And we're going to bring those hands all the way together, thumbs clasping or all of the fingers clasping. You're invited to stay here if you'd like, or let's shift up onto your right foot, taking flight into warrior three. Does not matter how high that back leg is. It's balanced the moment those left toes are off the floor. Big full breath in whatever you've created. And then we're going to come on up, left knee into your chest. Hands come on up to the sky. Just let yourself be there for a moment. From here, we're going to step that left leg all the way back, heel off the ground this time, finding that crescent lunge. We're going to lean forward again, but this time we're going to bring your hands palm to palm in front of your heart. Around your waist, as you exhale, we're just going to rotate. And I don't want you to latch the elbow. Those of you that know the pose, I want you just to rotate, left elbow down, right elbow up. And then inhale, come back to center. I'm going to do that 2 more times. Exhale, rotate, left elbow down. Back to center. 1 more time. And back to center. Now let's do that rotation once again. This time we're going to take your left hand, reach it forward, right hand, reach it back. Bring your shoulders over your hips. Let that right hand reach for or towards your back leg. Revolved warrior. And then as you exhale, 2 hands down around that front foot. And back you go. Downward facing dog. From this down dog, let's take your feet as wide as your mat on the short end there. Walk your hands all the way back to your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Let the head be heavy. As the head hangs heavily, let your shoulders gently glide up the spine toward the ceiling. Your neck is long. And then let's start to walk your hands back forward into your downward facing dog. Let your feet come back to about hip width from that down dog shape. And let's take our final home stretch here. Left foot lifts. And left foot steps forward between your hands. We'll ground that back heel. Come on up into warrior one. Facing the front of the mat. Let your hands come up toward the sky. As that happens, we're going to lean your body forward. Turn those palms out, swim them back. Feel that move your shoulders back, your heart forward. And let's pull thumbs or all of your fingers together for that clasp. You can stay here if you'd like or shift up onto that left foot, taking flight. Steady, steady. We're going to start to come up, right knee into chest from wherever you're at. Just find that transition with your breath. We'll release your hands to the sky. Stand tall. Be steady. And then let's step it all the way back into your lunge. Back heel stays off the ground this time. We'll lean forward one more time, hands to heart. Feel that line of your spine. Maybe you're doing shish kebabs for Thanksgiving. This is your shish kebab skewer. We're doing tamales from Chicha. All right, 3 times here. Right elbow down, left elbow up. We'll exhale, twist. Inhale, come back to center. 2 more. It does not matter how much movement you get there. I want you just to feel that work of your core. Back to center. 1 more time. And back. We're going to find that rotation this time. Right hand forward, left hand back. Just let it happen. Don't worry about being precise. We'll start to come up, shoulders over hips. Let that left hand reach down and back the back leg any amount. It might touch, it might not. Right hand to the sky. And then hands around your front foot. 1 final time back to downward facing dog. Invitation for stillness or movement as you need it. Stay with your breath. We'll meet up in downward facing dog. And from this down dog, we're going to stroll your feet forward. You can hop if you like. We're going to end up with those feet wide, toes out, heels in. We're going to bend your knees. Coming down either to football coach, half squat, or all the way down into your squat. I'd like to point out that there has not been a chair pose in this practice. You get a squat instead. Happy Thanksgiving, you're welcome. Let it be known there was a class without chair. But maybe worse than chair. We're going to press down into your feet, super slow. We're going to start to rise up all the way to standing. Your slowness, your pacing there. What goes up must come back down. Nice and slow, nice and steady. You stop at a point that's good for your knees, your ankles, your hips. What goes down must go up. Here we go. Back down. When you get down to your half or full squat, we're going to stay for a few more breaths. Those of you that are like, no, I'm good. You're just going to sit down because that's where we're headed next. Those of you that are happy here, stay. Those of you, we're going to rename this pose baby turkey today instead of crow. Those of you that would like to put your hands on the floor, knees to the back of your arms, you might even grab one of those squishy objects and put it where your face would fall. And you're going to come up, rounding your spine like a big cat pose. Knees hugging in like you've got a thigh master in there. Maybe 1 foot lifts, maybe both feet lift. Baby turkey. 1 more breath wherever you're at. Feet come back to the ground if they left the floor. And from here, you get to come all the way down onto the ground. As you find the floor, let's start for a moment here with soles of the feet together, knees open. Hold on to ankles, shins, or feet, and just sit up super, super tall. Feel your breath move in and out of your body, especially if you got excited about baby turkey. Regulate the breath. Feel that steadiness in and out. Let's press that right leg down into your right hand just a smidge more. Let your left ear fall toward your left shoulder. And then head back up. Left leg presses down into that left hand. Right ear falls toward right shoulder. Head back up. Hands to outer knees. Let's press those knees together. Place your feet flat on the ground, about hip width apart. Hands are going to slide behind you. If your shoulders are really open, feeling good, then your fingers are going to point straight toward your bum. If you know that your shoulders are feeling a little grumpy and tight this morning, your hands are going to point out a bit to the sides. Let's take a big puff of your heart, scientific anatomical term, heart puff. Let those shoulders melt down and back. This might be it right here for you. Or we're going to start to press down into hands and feet, lift your hips, reverse table. Now, what I want you to try to do as you come up is to not let your heart sink. So you're going to try to keep that lift of the heart that you created all the way up. Eventually, over time here, the body gets flat, reverse table. But honestly, for a lot of us, it's going to look like a 2020 couch. Saggy couch cushion. Anyone that is in couches is going to just make so much money in 2021 because we're all going to have to replace what we sat on for a year. And then slowly, slowly, hips come down. Hands to shins or thighs, whatever feels natural there. Let's roll back toward that cat-shaped spine. Inhale, pull on shins or thighs, belly towards thighs, heart forward, shoulders back. We're going to do that 2 more times, rounding and lifting. And 1 more time, rounding back. And we're going to let yourself come all the way down onto your back. We're going to end up on the back with knees bent, feet flat on the ground, hip width apart, arms by your sides. And then we're going to bend your elbows, fingers toward the sky. We call these T-Rex arms. You can make T-Rex claws if you want to. That was my T-Rex sound. That was an epic fail. We're going to push down into your T-Rex arms. Take your outer shoulders toward the ground. Heart buoyant, heart lifted. And let's just exist here for a moment before we add anything else on. Press those shoulders down. Feel them melt down physically into the ground, but then also melt down the back toward your hips. And then I want you to press the back of your head into the ground. Doesn't need to be vigorous, just a gentle press. Head down into the floor. Have the head be positioned in a way that all 4 sides of your neck feel equally long. And then let's keep all of that. That might be the shape for you. You're doing all of the actions we are going to do if you choose here in a moment to press into your feet and lift your hips. Those of you that would rather clasp your hands beneath the back or let your arms go straight, great options. If you like the T-Rex arms, you can keep them. Let's press heels down into the floor. Feel like you're pulling them back towards you. Get those hamstrings to fire. And just feel that doming, that lifting of upper back into heart. And then slowly, slowly, hips to the floor. Let your little T-Rex arms fall into the belly, feet wide, knees together. Feel your breath. Feel that vibrancy of energy in your body. And without judgment, without analysis or expectation, just feel that gratefulness within your heart. All that exists there for you today. Sometimes it's pleasant, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's balanced, sometimes it's not. But holding that great fullness that is life. If that one back bend of bridge was enough, you stay. Just keep breathing, keep feeling, keep holding space. If you would like one more, feet separate, knees separate about hip width. T-Rex arms. If anyone wants an upward facing bow or a Urdhva on your own, you're welcome. For bridge, we're going to press into your feet, let your hips lift. Gently let that head press down into the floor. It does not need to be vigorous, but let there be a gentle press. One final breath here. And then easy, gentle, steady release. Feet wide, knees together. And let's open your arms now out into a goalpost shape. So elbows in line with your shoulders, back of hands on the ground. As you inhale, feel a line of energy from the middle of your heart on your chest out through the tips of your elbows. As you exhale, feel a sense of drawing in, not necessarily actively, but just an energetic drawing in from the back of your elbow tip into the back of your heart between your shoulder blades. Let's linger here with that. Just a couple breaths. Drawing outward as you breathe in from center of chest to elbows. Drawing inward from back of elbow tips to the back of the heart as you exhale. And then we're going to wiggle your feet to hip width, knees to feet hip width again. We'll keep your arms as they are. Let's take right ankle onto left thigh. Knee falls open. And we're going to let your legs fall in this shape toward the left. Outer left thigh will come to the ground. Right foot will come to the floor. Right knee is moving away from your head. Let's try to stay with that goal-posted arm shape today. Can both of your elbows, both of your shoulders stay grounded? Maybe your gaze turns to look at that right arm. Maybe it stays skyward. And then gaze back to center, legs back to center, right foot to the mat. Reset everything. And when you're ready, left ankle, right thigh, knee falls open, legs fall to the right. Maybe your nose, your eyes continue to point upward. Maybe you turn your gaze, your head to look toward that left shoulder. And let's bring your legs back to center, head to center. Let that left foot come to the ground. Little sway of the knees side to side. And then we're going to roll over to your side. If you do not have 2 blocks or 2 pillows, you can just stay. But if you do, you're going to come on up. You're going to grab the item that you collected. You're going to put them on the 2 sides of your mat, about where your hips are, about halfway down the mat. And then just come on back down to your back. And let's set your feet on the ground, knees bent. And then let's bring your right knee in, give it a little hug. You can keep the head down, or if you'd like, you can pull the nose up toward your knee. Give it a little nose kiss. And then head down, foot down. Hands could come to belly. You could also reach them up overhead. Just whatever feels really organic here. Let's do left leg. Left leg comes in. Maybe you nose kiss. And back down. Let's do each side one more time. Just nice and leisurely here. No effort, no rush, no strain. And then this time, let's bring in both knees. You might hold shins and keep head down. You might hold shins and keep or bring head up. Some of you, proportionally, if it works, maybe reach down, grab onto your feet, little teeny tiny ball of yourself. And then let the head come down. Let your feet come back down. Soles of the feet are going to come together. Knees are going to fall open, and you're going to wedge your pillows or your blocks or your blankets or whatever you came up with underneath those outer hips. Some of you that have really sort of, we call it tight hips, but what it honestly is a more forward placement of your thigh bone on the pelvis, aka your knees don't open quite as wide. You might fold your pillows over a couple times. I want those knees and legs and hips to feel really supported here. And if your prop does not give you support, it feels like your legs are really holding themselves in space. And I want you to forego this and just let the legs come out to straight. And then let's either bring 2 hands onto belly, or a hand onto belly and a hand onto heart. Let the eyes close. And invite yourself to settle within the space of your heart here. As though your nostrils, your nose was actually in the center of your chest. Can you feel yourself breathing into your heart space? And breathing out of your heart space. Breathing into whatever exists within this heart space today emotionally for you. Knowing that it is perfect and right and good, whatever you are feeling and experiencing today. And any judgment or pressure that exists there for you, know that that is coming not from your heart. The heart does not judge, from that analytical mind. Breathing into that great fullness that exists within you. And giving yourself space and permission today and every day. Feel gratitude for the highs and the lows of life. Let's take one more big full inhale here. A long, lingering, spacious exhale. And let's slide your 2 hands down outside those outer thighs. And ever so gently help press those legs back together. We're going to gently roll to a side when you press down into the floor. Bring yourself back up toward a comfortable seat. Surrounded by all your fluff backs. Although my furry friends are MIA today. And let's just come to that seat. Let's bring your hands together in front of your heart. Taking one more moment of pause and space here for yourself. And just feeling the effects that this practice had for you this morning and the gifts that they gave, whatever those were. And sharing them here with yourself and sharing them out to everyone within your life that comes to mind today. Everyone that maybe you normally spend the holiday with that you wish you were together with. Maybe those that you still do get to connect with today. And just sharing the gifts that you find within the space within that space within out to those you connect with. Thank you all so much for being a part of this family. I hope you have the best. Thanks. Namaste. Thank you everyone so much. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for putting up with my tears at the beginning of class. It happens sometimes. Thank you, Lori, so much for being here with us. Lovely to practice together. Karen, thank you. Melissa, thank you so much. Karen, thank you. A couple things before I dive into the rest of the comments. I think, Amy also posted something. Oh, Amy, I miss you so much. Before I dive into the rest of the comments, I will say hi to everyone. Just a couple quick things. So all donations, I've got presents back here, just like Christmas. So all of the donations that you make for class today, all the contributions are being donated to Basic Rights Oregon in honor of Transgender Day of Remembrance, which was last Friday. If you would like to read about that day and honor those individuals in the trans community that we lost this year, all of the information was posted on our social media page last Friday, the 20th. So those links are there. And if you'd like to learn about what Basic Rights Oregon is doing in terms of lobbying for a trans panic defense ban in 2021, that's also on our social media. So donations are going there today. Thank you so much to everyone who's already donated. Everyone who does donate today and from the last 2 classes will be entered in to win a Protect Trans Kids tote bag. So that's coming. And then if you haven't seen yet, hoodies are officially here. We officially have these beautiful mustard yellow yoga and beer hoodies, and they are so soft inside, just the softest thing you're going to put on your body. They went up on the website last night, and we put them at $35 through Monday. I don't know, Black Fridays, whatever those days are. $35 through Monday, and then they'll go up to $40 next week. So those are on the website to order. They're super cozy, just everything you need to cuddle in through the holidays. All right, everyone. I appreciate you so much. Oh my goodness, you guys, so many of you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Robert. Glad you're here. Stephanie, happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your time with your mom. Pam, grateful for mimosas. Thank you, Larry. I appreciate you. Michelle, so glad to have you. Catherine, peace to you. Jillian, thank you, thank you. Yulia, welcome home. Yulia's teaching Saturday morning at 10 if you are wanting more yoga in your life this weekend. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you, Brittany. Jenna. I'm grateful for no chair pose, too. Shelly, thank you so much. Thanks, Howard. You guys can log off anytime. I'm just going to keep saying thank you. Kelly, oh, Chad. Hi, Chad and Kelly. If you haven't logged off already, I appreciate you being here. Ayako, I'm really excited for the hoodies, too. Obviously, it's all I'm going to wear today. Well, and pants, hopefully. Kayla, thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving. I've missed you, CJ. Glad you were here today. Danny, welcome back. I don't know if you're back, but welcome to practice. Marianne, I'm glad you joined us. I'm glad Danny introduced you. Nicole, thank you. It's one of my favorites too. Ruth, happy Thanksgiving. Clara, thank you. Namaste. Yulia, at least I wasn't alone. Kim, thank you so much. You're right, CJ. No pants required when you're just home by yourself with your husband for Thanksgiving. All right, on that note. Oh, yay. Annabeth, glad you were here. And then the outfit will be completed. All right, everyone, I'm going to hit end. I hope you have a lovely, lovely Thanksgiving and a great holiday weekend. I will see you all very, very soon.